Today, our topic is what Plato would say about today's society. Imagine if Plato, the great philosopher from ancient Greece, could step into our modern world. What would he think? What advice would he give us? Plato lived over 2,000 years ago, but his ideas about life, society, and human nature are still relevant today. Let's explore what he might say about the way we live now. First, Plato believed that the most important thing in life is to seek truth and wisdom. He thought that many people live in ignorance, like prisoners in a cave, only seeing shadows of reality. Today, with so much information available on the internet, you might think we have all the knowledge we need. But Plato would probably say that we are still in the cave. We are surrounded by distractions, fake news, and shallow ideas. Many people spend hours on social media, comparing their lives to others, or arguing about things they don't fully understand. Plato would tell us to step out of the cave, to question what we see and hear, and to seek deeper understanding. He would encourage us to read books, to think critically, and to have meaningful conversations. He believed that the truth is not always easy to find, but it is worth the effort. Another important idea from Plato is the concept of justice. In his famous book, The Republic, he describes an ideal society where everyone has a role based on their abilities. He believed that a just society is one where people work together for the common good, not just for their own benefit. If Plato saw today's society, he might be disappointed. He would see a lot of inequality, where rich people have too much power and poor people struggle to survive. He would see corruption in politics and businesses, where people care more about money than doing what is right. Plato would say that we need to focus on fairness and justice. He would tell us to think about how our actions affect others, and to work together to create a better world. He believed that everyone has a responsibility to contribute to society in a positive way. Plato also had strong opinions about education. He believed that education is not just about learning facts, but about developing character and wisdom. In today's world, education is often seen as a way to get a good job and make money. But Plato would say that education should be about becoming a better person. He would encourage us to study philosophy, to ask big questions about life, and to reflect on our values. He believed that true education helps us understand ourselves and the world around us. Today, many people are focused on material things, like having the latest phone or the nicest car. Plato would say that these things are not important. He believed that the soul is more valuable than the body, and that we should focus on improving our inner selves. He would tell us to practice virtues like courage, wisdom, and self-control. He believed that a good life is not about having a lot of things, but about being a good person. If Plato saw how much time people spend on their phones or watching TV, he might say that we are wasting our lives. He would encourage us to spend time thinking, learning, and helping others. Another thing Plato might say about today's society is that we need better leaders. In the Republic, he describes the ideal leader as a philosopher-king, someone who is wise and cares about the people. Today, many leaders seem more interested in power and money than in serving others. Plato would say that we need leaders who are educated, ethical, and dedicated to the common good. He believed that good leaders should be chosen based on their character and abilities, not on their wealth or popularity. He would tell us to be careful about who we vote for and to hold our leaders accountable. Plato also believed in the importance of community. He thought that people are happiest when they work together and support each other. Today, many people feel lonely and disconnected, even though we are more connected than ever through technology. Plato would say that we need to build stronger communities where people care about each other and work together for the common good. He would encourage us to spend less time online and more time with real people, having meaningful conversations and helping each other. He believed that true happiness comes from relationships and from contributing to something bigger than ourselves. One of Plato's most famous ideas is the theory of forms. He believed that there is a perfect version of everything, like justice, beauty, and goodness that exists in a world beyond our senses. The things we see in the physical world are just imperfect copies of these perfect forms. If Plato saw today's society, he might say that we have lost sight of these ideals. We focus on superficial things like how people look or how much money they have, instead of looking for true beauty and goodness. Plato would encourage us to look beyond the surface and to strive for these higher ideals. He believed that by doing so, we can live more meaningful lives. Plato also had a lot to say about happiness. He believed that true happiness comes from living a virtuous life, not from pleasure or material wealth. Today, many people think that happiness comes from having fun or buying things. But Plato would say that this kind of happiness is temporary and shallow. He believed that real happiness comes from living in harmony with our values and from doing what is right. He would tell us to focus on developing our character and to find joy in things that last, like friendship, knowledge, and helping others. Finally, Plato would probably remind us of the importance of self-reflection. He believed that the unexamined life is not worth living. In today's fast-paced world, many people don't take the time to think about their lives and their choices. Plato would encourage us to slow down and to reflect on our actions and our goals. He believed that by understanding ourselves, we can live more meaningful and fulfilling lives. In conclusion, if Plato were alive today, he would have a lot to say about our society. He would encourage us to seek truth and wisdom, to focus on justice and fairness, and to value education and character over material things. He would tell us to choose good leaders, to build strong communities, and to strive for higher ideals. He would remind us that true happiness comes from living a virtuous life and from understanding ourselves. Plato's ideas may be old, but they are still relevant today. By following his advice, we can create a better society and live more meaningful lives.